the best piece of advice I got comedically as a stand-up was from an acting coach. And I studied in Lee Strasberg Theater Institute in LA, and some of the intense, acting schools. My dad was an actor studio guy, and so I was studying with a teacher named Lelia Goldoni. She was unbelievable because she never let me get away with my bullshit tricks, because those were my defense mechanism, trying to hide the fact that I feel vulnerable and put up this defense mechanism like I'm, my humor, I'm in control. And teaching me that I am perfect in all my flaws. So show your flaws. No problem with that, because people now connect to you. She goes, secondly, when I did 5 minutes for her in front of the class, the jokes mechanically were sound. I know they were good jokes. They laughed. I got laughs. I was like, ha, showed her. She sat there with her arms folded, her legs crossed, and she said, oh, look, Jerry thinks his jokes are so funny he doesn't need to perform them. And I said, what do you mean by that? And she said, I don't know how you feel about any of that, so I don't care. Ooh. Humans connect through emotion, Jerry. Go back home. I want you to write down how you feel about and play the emotion. Make sure it's authentic through each of these lines. Connect it to the environment. Connect it to the pictures. In fact, don't even think of the emotion. Think about the colors and the textures and the sounds and the smells of the events you're talking about. Automatically, the emotions will come to you.
Whoa.
And so I practiced what she said by at the same time rolling my eyes. I'll show her, right? And I go back and I said, my dad always said, anytime an acting teacher gives you a note, don't ever take offense to it. They're not saying it because they dislike you. They're saying it because they want to help you. And that gave me a whole different perspective. So somebody gives me a note, I never say, oh, fuck you. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Always follow up with a question or two. It'll help you to clarify what they mean. So I came back and delivered it the way she said. And holy shit, what a difference. Applause breaks on jokes that I just thought were funny.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden people, oh my God, and what you said exactly happened to me. Well, my brother does the same thing, or my father, it's like the same thing. And I was like, now you're affecting people. You're not just making them laugh.
Yes.
They're leaving with an impact.
How did you inject that emotion? You said you think about the smells and senses?
Well,
or
that's one of the
process?
lessons in acting. Instead of just trying to play sad, that's so general, sad. What do you mean sad? Distraught, upset? But if you remember the smells, textures, and the scene about where that emotion is connecting to, that's when the emotion comes out.
Okay.
So you're not just playing the label of an emotion, you're playing an experience. So it changes the way you play that experience. It's like when I coach actors sometimes on self-tapes, and a lot of times they deliver the lines looking at the character all the time. Watch real actors. They'll look at the character maybe 20% of the time, especially if they're talking about an event. The event, we go somewhere in our eyes to the event in our memory, and then we check in with them once in a while. So if you're really remembering an event or substituting a real event in your life for that character, that emotion's gonna come to you. And as comedians, we get good at this because we do it every night, expressing ourselves over a certain subject or emotion or something. If we can play sarcasm, we can play retaliation. Benign retaliation is another structure, very important structure. Probably a great structure to open with.
Okay.
Because I call it the perfect joke form, because it's got an antagonist and a protagonist built in. So you can say that, like when people say, hey, you're a comedian, tell me a joke, I always tell them a joke. Because if I just say, I don't do jokes, I do stories, what are the odds of them coming to any of my shows? Zero. Right. But if I give them a joke, that was funny, where are you playing? Here, there's an app on my phone, I open it up, it's a form, they put in their email, they hit send with their first name, they hit send, it goes, they automatically get an email response that leads them to a 2 or 3 minute video, here's a clip, enjoy,
What's
then I'll
the app?
send them something else. I use MailChimp.
MailChimp. Oh, the
And
app
I
for
create a
MailChimp.
link and I have it on my Evernote, and I just hit that, and it opens up the website with that form on it,
Oh, that's
and they
awesome.
put it in, and I say, I'll invite you to a show, and it's my fan list thing. This happens all the time. Oh, you're a comedian? Well, tell me a joke, and I'll tell them a joke. The joke is usually my ex who cheated on me called me on Halloween. She's like, Jerry, I don't know what to pretend to be for Halloween. I said, why don't you just dress normally and pretend you're in a committed relationship? And they go, oh, that's funny. Where are you playing?
Right.
And it's that simple, you know? And it's rather than, I don't do jokes, I do stories. The reason most of us say that is because we're not prepared
Yeah.
to say a joke. Why not? You know, how many people have come to see me based on that? You know, probably hundreds, you know, based on meeting people and them asking to be on that list, you know, by saying, hey, tell me a joke. You know, so I just rambled.
No, you didn't. No, that was all relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So was there anything else with injecting emotion? You go to the place or you bring in a parallel experience to find the emotion within the story.
Don't
joke
chase
you're
the
trying to tell.
emotion. Sort of let it come to you.
Okay.
Really just say, you know, oh my God. Let me tell you about this. My ex, she's like, she's A++, you know. That's the positive way I tell my kids. You know, she's fucking nuts is what she is.
Mm-hmm.
But all I'm doing is I'm picturing her, picturing those situations. How does she
Gotcha.
make me feel? Sometimes she gets me so fucking frustrated. And I'm just not afraid to share that with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
That does take practice. And that comes with learning to be yourself the way you are with your friends at a bar on that stage. Because we tend to, I want to put on my best self on this stage rather than I want to be completely vulnerable and be the same guy I am at the bar on the stage. And that's why I tell the audience, I'm so flawed, you know. I got baggage, I got Samsonite, you know. But I'm not afraid because that's made me who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to be that way and be honest with them on the stage, now you're communicating with them, you know. Like we're watching the World Series of Comedy, a lot of comics, good jokes, but I don't feel the connection. I don't feel them connecting with the audience at all, you know. They want to get up there and recite their jokes because they have a time limit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, be with us. It doesn't matter the amount of laugh points you get. If you're with us, there's nothing on there that says how many jokes did you do per minute on the judging application or the form. It's like originality, stage presence, overall performance. Those are the three criteria. But yeah, laughs per minute do matter, but are you really still connecting with us and communicating with us?
But I've been doing this 9.5 years, and I'm just now starting to kind of open up that level of comedy. I'm just now like peeling back that layer of like, oh, the personal and finding the emotional connection behind it. So it's like, I've been on stage a lot, and I'm just now getting around to, oh yeah, emotion's important, and I should tell my story and tell jokes that only I could say. And I try to put my jokes through a filter now of like, what can I do that someone couldn't steal, really?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hot brethren and sistren. Thanks a lot for watching this video. If you love comedy as much as we do here at Hot Breath, click the subscribe button to join the Hot Breathiverse, and then watch more videos to get even more comedy tips. Hot Breath.